Hello, hello. This is Nina Erjavik, demonstrator in the U.S., and this is a series I'm doing for July, and it is the creative journey through the catalog, where I will case, that's copy and share everything, or copy and selectively edit samples that are in the catalog. So this is video number, I want to say it's 4, and we are going to do this card right down here in the corner. So we're going to copy this one. I think I'm copying it pretty much exactly the way it is. So let's get started. So this is on page 52 if you are following me in the catalog. We are using the, we're going to use the Gallery Blooms bundle. And we also will be using the beautiful Motifs. So this particular suite is a mega suite, because it has 2 different stamp sets and 2 different dies that coordinate with each other. We are also going to use these up here. These are the pressed flower motifs. This paper is just absolutely stunning. This is the beautiful Gallery DSP. It is 6x6, and I just want to show you these really quick. They are beautiful pages. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to turn it over so you can see the colors. This paper reminds me of my mom because she was an artist. She did do oil painting. So she's no longer with me, sadly, very sadly. But, you know, I have lots of things to remember her by. And this paper is one of them. But this paper is just absolutely stunning. It is painted by our artists at Stampin' Up. And some of the scenes are just, you know, they stand alone. You can just add a sentiment on it and go from there. And that's another scene on the back of that one. This is an old-time house, which I think is stunning. And this one, there are 4 sheets of each page, and one of the pages we are working with in another sample, so there is one missing because we are using it, and I've used pretty much all 4 sheets. Okay, so let's get started with our card that is on page 52. Let's see. We're also going to use this ribbon here. That's the basic beige ribbon. Okay, so let's flip the catalog and let's go here. All right, so I have, let's start with this. I have an 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4. That is my card base. We are going to do it landscape. And then we have this paper, and this paper, oh my gosh, I really hate to cover that up. However, there's 4 sheets in a package, so we are not using this side. We are going to turn it over and use this side. I am going to use some glue. This is our multi-purpose glue. And I am going to match it up here in this corner. Match it on the bottom. I like to also do it this way. This way it actually gets... And then if there's a little overage, we will just trim that off, because it just depends on how you cut it and what little ditty on your ruler as that you use. So sometimes it might come up in 1/16 of an inch off. So we're just going to trim that little white piece off. I'm just going to trim that off. Now it's nice. So it was just not even. Yep, a 1/16 I took off. Okay, so now that is ready to go. I am just going to smush the glue around some so that it evenly distributes and I don't have any bumps. We're going to set that aside to dry, and we're going to get some of our other elements. So here is the beautiful Motifs and the Gallery Blooms. Okay, so we're really, on this particular card, we're not using the Gallery Blooms. Yes, we are. I take that back. We're using this little flower here. I already have this one mounted. It is right here. We're going to use that with cloud cover. And then we are going to use the thank you for everything, and that is out of the beautiful Motifs. It's right here. This is part of that mega suite. We are also going to use, let me see, I'm running out of space here. Okay, we are also using the dies for the gallery blooms, and we are going to use this piece here. This piece here is really awesome because this is what it does. I'm going to cut this. You can, if you have the big Stampin' Cut emboss machine, you can do a whole sheet. Okay, a whole sheet of 8.5 by 11. So that would be 8.5 by 5 and 8.5. 8.5 by 5 1/4 or 5.5. And then you will place it. You need plate 1, plate 2, plate 3. As you can see, my plates are really, really loved, but a whole sheet fits on here. Okay, I'll turn it this way so you can see better. And then one of these fits on here. Now, if you're only doing one, you don't need this whole sheet. I am just, for the sake of this actual video, I am only going to do half of a sheet. So you can just put it on here, and you can use a little post-it note to hold it down just so that it doesn't shift. Okay, and then put the third plate, or the number 3 plate, the top plate on, and run that through your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. When you do that, this is what it does, is it cuts out 3 frames for you. Okay, so the bigger one, this medium, and then the solid piece. So we are going to put this aside for the moment. Pretend like I've already done that, okay? And we are going to bring in our card. Now it's already shaded for you. You don't have to do anything with it. That is the back side of that paper, that designer series paper. We are only going to use this piece here and the middle piece. This one we're not going to use, so we'll set that aside. So on this particular card, it looks like this, okay? So they used 2 of these. They used these 2, and then they just positioned it how they want it. Okay, so I did that, and then I'm going to take a pencil, and I am just going to, I want this to come over a little bit further, and I want this to come over a little bit further, and I'm just going to mark here where I want to cut. Now you can cut with your cutting, can't talk and do this at the same time. You can use your trimmer, your paper trimmer, or you can just use scissors if you're a good straight cutter. I am not a good straight cutter, so we're going to bring in my paper trimmer. And we're just going to cut on these lines here. So I'm just going to line this up here, my cut in the center of the track, and I'm just going to slice it. Now, a tip for you, if for some reason your paper is getting all jagged at the end, clean out this track. Just take something to clean out your track, because sometimes debris, paper debris gets stuck in there, and that just makes your blade jump. So you really just clean out that track. You can also sharpen these blades by running them through some aluminum foil if you wanted to do that. So now I have these 2 pieces. Okay, so we're going to set those aside for just a minute, and I'm going to cut this one. I'm going to keep it up there so my line is straight. And you know, you're just going to eyeball it. You don't necessarily have to do it this way. But if you want to do it this way, you can, or you can just eyeball it and just cut it. You can do that too. And I need this piece, and we're gonna hold on to this piece because we're gonna need that here in just a minute. Okay, so then we're gonna bring our card back in. This piece was gonna go here. Let's see, I think it was gonna go this way. Now you can also just go ahead and adjust it if you want to take it off the page, and once you get it cut and you want to do something, you want to adjust them, you can absolutely do that. You can just take them off the page. I'm going to use glue for this one. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on here. Remember, a little dab will do you. You do not need a lot of glue. I think we're gonna go, so I've kind of changed it up a little, oops, kind of changed it up a little bit. Okay, there's that one. I'm gonna bring it closer to me so I can see. Okay, and then this one, it's gonna go down here. Now you can definitely use whatever adhesive you want to use for this part. Glue is a little forgiving and you can slide it into position a little more. You have a little bit of wiggle room. And then I will just erase my pencil marks here in just a minute. And then we have this one. Let's see. I think we're going to use, we'll do this one. You know, you can make more shapes if you want to do more shapes. There's so much you can do with this one using these frames. I'm going to cut there. And then this one, I think I'm going to come up here further. We're going to make this one a little bit more. There and right there. Bring back in my paper trimmer. Drop something on the floor. Okay. So we're going to do the same thing. This one just needs 2 little cuts. Okay, so we're going to use this one. And this one, here are my cuts here. Let's see, I think we just have 1 cut on this one. Okay, so you have these papers that you can actually hold with this so that you can do another card with it. And then, let's see, I think, did I have another? All right. I think I need to cut more off of that here, but we'll see what we got. So this one is going to go here. I do need to cut that one a little bit more. This one is going to go here. Let's bring it over here a little bit. And each one of these cards that you do is going to be different. And that's okay. Oh, I think I really wanted that over a little farther, but that's okay. Let's see. I think we're going to redo this one. I think we are going to cut this one here. Cut it here. Bring my paper trimmer back in. Like I said, these elements save because you can use them again on another card, just doing something different, or the same card and doing something different. So let's see. Yep, we're going to use this one. Okay, so now you have all these elements that you can make multiple cards with. I'm going to do this one, and I'll show you the sample that I actually did, which is, I mean, it's still the same, it's just a little different. And if you put your glue like in the center here, then you have wiggle room where you can wiggle it to where you need it to be. And that's not what I wanted. But you got to be careful so that you don't wiggle it too much and then everything comes up and off. Here we go. You see what happened? I wiggled it and it just wiggled. It wiggled too much. Okay, so then all I do is open it up and I can see where I just need to trim off these pieces here. So welcome for joining me. I'm so glad. Thank you so much. I hope you are getting some great ideas watching these videos. And if you are, please like and follow for more. Or if I'm on YouTube, if you could please give me a thumbs up or hearts or whatever you want to do. And also follow me there as well. Okay, so here is this here. And I plan on doing lots more videos. So here we are here. So that's the base of our card, right? So we don't have a whole lot more to do with this card. And I'm trying to keep these short, so I'm trying to keep everything so you guys are not on here long. And I can also post it to FB page. I just don't like really long videos here lately. This is cloud cover. This is just a scrap because I am going to use it to cut out. Let's see. I think my scrap is a little too small. Let's see if we can get it in here. I think that'll work. And then we are going to, now you can do this all on the same plate. You can all do this on the same plate. So you're going to use this one. And then we are going to cut out, let me get some more of my pieces. Out of the Gallery Bloom, we need to have this piece here, which is going to cut this out. We need this piece here. We're going to do on cloud cover paper. This is where all these little pieces, you could actually cut them out all at one time. So yeah, that's going to cut it close, but I think it'll work. And then this one here is going to be on, where is my piece? Oh, here it is. This is on Mossy Meadow. And then this piece here is going, this little piece is going to be cut out on Basic Beige. So once I run this through the cut and emboss machine, they look like this. So just to save time, they look like this. You need one of each of those for your card. So I'm going to put this aside. So let's pretend that I cut those out by the magic of videotaping, right? We got these here. Then this is a 1-inch piece of Basic Beige. And what I did is I just cut it down to 1 by 1 squares. And then this is 1 3/4. Okay, and that is where we're going to use Mossy Meadow ink, and we are going to stamp our thank you on here. Let me see. We're just going to do it in the center of this paper. Of course, let's see if I can get my head over here. And hopefully I got it in the center. It's kind of hard with the camera in my way, but I think that's perfect. Now, what I did in the sample, it shows that it's got like a flag underneath. And what I did, let me get to that page so I can show you. Page 52. Let me get rid of this ink pad so I don't put something in there. Okay. See this right here? It looks like it has little flags underneath it, and if you look a little harder, or you go online and you go to that sample, you will see that the flags are underneath, and this is how I did those flags. Yes, if you have a flag punch, you could absolutely do that, but this is such a small piece of paper, cardstock actually. I am just going to go up the center. This is how I make my handmade flags. Turn it and go from this corner to that cut right there in the center. Okay, and I put both pieces together, so I'm cutting through 2 pieces of cardstock. I'm going to kind of match them back up again, hold them tight, and go from corner and angle it to that center cut. And there are my 2 flags. I'm just going to trim that center up just a tad. There we go. Okay, so now we have our 2 flags, right? So we want it to look raised, like these are tucked up underneath. So I'm going to use 2 dimensionals, and I've explained why they have the orange on them. I'm going to get my U-Pick tool. It does have the accessory on it, and I'm just going to pick these papers off. And then what I'm going to do is I am just going to place this over the top here. And I'm going to have that underneath to where it looks like the ribbon or the tag is underneath. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one over here. About the same distance, okay? So see how I did that? So it gives the illusion that the tails of the ribbon or the tails of the flag is up underneath, okay? And then I am going to put dimensionals on here so we raise it up off the top of the card itself. All right, so this one is going to go across here. So I'm going to place it where I want it to go. Preferably I want it in the center here. Okay, and then these little guys I'm just going to tuck up underneath, and I'm going to start with the green one. This is Mossy Meadow. I am just going to take a little bit of glue, and like I said, a little dab will do. You just squeeze it a little bit, put some glue on there. Okay, not all of it needs glue, just the stem, and we're going to tuck the stem down underneath, and we're going to push. Okay, so there is that one. Then we're going to take the blue one, and this is Cloud Cover that we cut out with the dies. Now you could have put the the adhesive sheets on the back of here. You could have done that, but you know, it's not hard on these because you're not using a lot of glue. And they're not that hard. They're not as delicate as, say, some of the stuff that we did on the other videos. So I'm just going to kind of leave up a little bit. Press it a little bit so it adheres. And then this one I'm going to do the same. Now this card is almost done. So I encourage you to get your catalog out or go online and pick out your favorite card sample and just copy it. And as you're copying the sample, you're going to find that you are going to find, let me find my, okay, where'd they go? Oh my goodness. You're going to find that you are going to start adjusting and changing things up and make it the card your own. Now, I just had those. I am looking on my table for the adhesive things that I need to put on this card. Hold for just a second. They're here. I just have to find them. They're in my next card. Okay, this is Pressed Flower Motifs. This is part of this suite. And I'm going to use this end. This one, I usually do odd numbers, and I usually do them like in a triangular fashion. So I'm going to put these right where they had them. Okay, so then a triangle comes down here. So this creates a triangle. And then let's do a big one. So I'm really placing them right where they actually had them in the catalog. And then this creates a triangle. This creates a triangle. So it just gives your eye an interest. So that card is done. However, I did put on the inside. So here's my sample. So you see the placements of these are just a little different. But I did just put another panel on the inside. It just elevates your card to have another panel on the inside. And then I just, again, repeated this flower here on the inside. So there you go. 2 cards. That's it for today. So if you have any questions or comments, please comment down below in the comment section, and I can answer any questions. Or if you like what you see, tell me that too, because I love to hear what your thoughts are. So have a great day, and I will see you on Tuesday. Thanks so much. Have a great day.